That's like one of my biggest fears and why I won't go on the veranda.
To me.
Hey, it's KJ.
And John.
Welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about some huge mistakes we made on our last Disney cruise. Yeah, they were big. Some of them were. Or things we learned on our last Disney cruise. Even though it wasn't our first cruise, we still learned some new things. So we're going to share those with you guys today. If you guys are new to my channel, I share a lot of Disney tips when it comes to Disney cruising, going to a Walt Disney World, or just Disney vacations in general. And if you have little ones, we have 3 little kids together. So we also share a little bit of tips on taking your kids on a Disney vacation. So if you like any of those things, we would love to have you hit that red subscribe button down below. And if you like today's video,
give it a thumbs up.
And if you are excited for today's video, what emoji should they leave in the comments down below if they're excited for today?
A facepalm emoji.
Oh.
Because they're mistakes. Like, oh.
Okay, do that. All right, we'll go with that. So after this long-winded intro, let's get into these mistakes. We're going to try to rapid fire because we have 20 of them. 20? Yes.
20 mistakes on the last
As we were going on our last cruise, I literally kept notes of
novices.
But it wasn't our
We're
first
going to cut that down to 5 mistakes on the next one.
Well, you just, listen, it's all about learning.
Yeah.
So the first one is the stroller rental. Now we did end up renting a stroller, but we actually did not know this on our very first cruise, and we found out after we got on the cruise. So you can rent a stroller. We totally advise renting a stroller if you have little ones. Let's say like we have 3 little ones and we have a double stroller. Don't carry the double stroller around. Don't do that. Rent the single strollers. It will be much easier to navigate the ships.
Yeah. Which double strollers is next to impossible. So
yeah, so don't do that. Rent the single stroller from the front desk, and it's complimentary. It's complimentary.
That's what I remember. I remember it being
we think it's complimentary. So rent the stroller. Pretty sure it's complimentary. Double check. But yeah, I think they're complimentary.
Number 2, at the farewell party, there is a rapid character meet and greet. So you do not need to
line up for there's like a show. You don't need to line up for it. Like, don't wait ahead of time. And to add to that tip, don't be on one of the higher up levels. You need to be on the main
atrium level.
Yeah, that's like the main tip, like the main level in the atrium.
The characters fan out after the show, and then you got to go grab the line that you want to get in.
So,
and they move them quick, so you could probably see 3, maybe even 4 characters before they come back together. They reassemble
for like the actual show.
Farewell.
Like that's where you really want to be watching from. So that's really when you want to be like waiting, like the second part of the show. Number 3, if you are driving, at least in Port Everglades, you can pay on the way out. We were like not sure what to do when we got to the parking garage. We're like, where do we pay? You pay on the way out. So don't be frantic when you are parking and, you know, all the excitement and you're just like trying to get to the terminal. You can pay on your way out. Number 4, at least on the Dream with the aqueduct, there is no place to put your shoes. So when I rode with my daughter, Johnny had to hold my shoes because we went up there and I was like, oh, there's no place to put my shoes. I think when you went on the Wish, there was a place to put your shoes.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure the Aqua Mouse does have like little cubbies for your, you know, for water shoes or whatever you want.
They don't have it on the aqueduct. So just put your shoes somewhere. There are no cubbies.
Number 5, on Castaway Key, if the boat is late to dock for any reason, it was when we went most recently, the activities are not pushed back. They are just, they pick up right from where the time is in the day. So if there was character meet and greets that were supposed to happen earlier in the day, they do not happen once you start disembarking. So.
Yeah. I was super disappointed. We got off the ship and there were a couple of characters meeting, but like the lines were just way too long and then that was it. So just be mindful. The characters won't meet you later on. They stay with like the original time. And number 6, to go along with that, if your cruise, if the ship is going to be late for whatever reason, like for our last cruise on the Dream, it took us a while to dock. Just for whatever reason, they could not back the ship in. They had a difficult time and it pushed us back about 2 hours. Like I think we didn't get off till 11 and usually you can get off around 9, maybe even, I think on the Wish we were off at like 8:30. But for whatever reason, we were pushed back a couple of hours. Just know it is pure chaos and pandemonium. And if you're not on one of the newer ships like the Wish or the Treasure, the older ships, it is very difficult to get off. The Wish is a much smoother process. You take the elevator like down, you can get right off. But on the older ships, you have to line up in the main lobby and like get down that way. Or for us, we were on the elevator, which because we had strollers. So getting off, it was pure pandemonium. So just know that going into it.
It also might have been more pandemonium because it was such a late disembark.
That's my point.
Everyone was awake.
That's the point. I'm saying if it's pushed back later.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why, because we're early birds.
Yeah, people want to maximize their time at that point.
So all those people who might have been like getting off gradually over those like 2 to 3 hours, we're all getting off at once. So just be mindful of that.
Number 7, when you are going to disembark the ship, to go one of those ports of call, you need to take all of your key to the world card from your traveling party. Anyone who's exiting the boat can't just do one. I think on the first ship, we went on the Wish.
When we went on the Wish, it was just one.
But then we went on the Dream. All of a sudden, they said we needed all 5.
Yes.
So,
and we made a rookie mistake because on previous cruises we brought a card, like we had a Disney hotel card that we just had, and that's what we stuck for the light switch. And I think it was Johnny who put our youngest guys keep the world card as the light switch. And when we left, again, it was just so crazy because we got off the ship so late. We left it in the room and we totally forgot that, or we didn't even know. They made an announcement, my sister said, because she was in the adjoining room and she heard it, didn't tell us. So make sure just bring all of your key to the world cards with you, because I had to run back up in that huge crowd and then get back down. And it really put a damper on the day. So bring all of your key to the world cards no matter what. Tip number 8, ask what a line is for. Don't just get in line. Ask somebody what the line is for, and then maybe don't even ask just one person. Maybe ask a few people, and maybe even go to the front of the line and ask what they're lined up for. And the reason I say this is because, well, it leads me to tip number 9.
Which is at the buffets, like cabanas, you may see a line that is starting from the first buffet line,
like out to the pool deck.
Yeah, that goes up to the pool deck, and it seems like it's a long line. If you actually just walk into the actual restaurant, there is numerous stations that you could just hop on, that you may not even get anything from that first station.
Well, usually
people
like
are grabbing plates, but you could also hop to the seafood if you want. It doesn't have to just be that, but there's numerous stations that repeat itself throughout cabanas. It's a U-shaped kind of buffet, but everyone lines up at the first one, and you don't need to, because just go inside the restaurant and there's plates in there, and just start filling up your plate.
Number 10, if you were sailing out of Port Everglades, that is Disney's other port. They have Port Canaveral and now they have Port Everglades. The address, at least when we went, was incorrect. And we drove around and around and around. I don't even know how we eventually found it, but I don't know if anyone else had this problem, but the address that Disney gives you on the website just didn't work with our GPS. So make sure, talk to your, if you're staying at a hotel, like ask them, or just maybe find something nearby and put that address in and like follow signs. We spent like 20 minutes at least like driving around.
Yep.
So
and it was about as close as could be. We just were going.
We were like right there.
we were just going straight instead of making a right. I feel like I asked someone.
We might have, but it's
just right up that road.
And that's when we were like, that's how we finally found out. And my sister, who was about like 20 or 30 minutes behind us, ended up getting there basically at the same time, because that's how long we drove around. So just double check that address.
Number 11, the check-in at Port Everglades is much faster and much smoother than it is at Port Canaveral.
I don't know why this is. Aside from our like mishap of trying to get there, it was just so much faster, like so much quicker and so much smoother, and just know that going in. So I still would advise arriving early, but just know we plan to be there a half hour earlier, and even still because we wanted to allot enough time, we flew through security. So just know it's a lot quicker. Number 12, if you're a party of 5 and you have a little one. So on our last cruise, our youngest, he was 7 months old. So if you're staying at Walt Disney World and you're staying in a room, you can stay in rooms that sleep 4 people because you have a pack and play. On Disney Cruise Line, not the case. You have to get a larger room. You have to get a room that sleeps 5. So we had a room that slept 5, but we never used the Murphy bed. You'll have more space and you can put the pack and play there, but regardless, you have to have the 5-person room. Oh, I know why I'm telling you guys this. Because it may make it more difficult to get a room, because the 5-person rooms there's not as many of them as there are the 4-person rooms. So just be aware when you're booking a cruise, even if you have an infant who does not go into bed, they'll be in a pack and play, you still need a 5-person room.
Number 13, when it comes time to tipping your servers, the first time we cruised, we had cash, and we were going to do the same thing the next time, but we wanted more cash. So I had gone to the front desk to see if I could get more cash, because we wanted to tip our servers and stateroom people more money.
Room host. But they were excellent.
They were excellent. But the front desk told us we can actually put it on our credit card. So I was like, oh, even better. So we put the tip on our credit card and our servers and stateroom, and
it just goes like in their little envelope. Like you get like a paper and it'll go in the envelope. So on all future cruises, we will not bring a ton of cash.
Correct.
We're just going to do it like that because we don't like carrying cash. Number 14, if you are playing bingo and you want to win that grand prize, just know Your bingo numbers have to be called within the first 46 numbers. I didn't know this. Not that we were close to winning, but I didn't know that. So just be mindful that if you think you're going to win the big cash prize, I mean, they make it pretty clear. They let you know. But in case you didn't hear it from me now. Just in case you get excited and think you're going to win that big jackpot, you have to win it within the first 46 numbers, which makes it incredibly difficult. So, but I guess that's the whole point. They don't want you to necessarily win that like $10,000 jackpot.
Number 15, if you are traveling on a Disney cruise ship and you're traveling with a stroller.
During peak times.
I was getting there. During peak times, you want to make sure that here's a little tip. Instead of if it's the masses are going up to the pool deck because there's going to be a fireworks show or it's pirate night and everyone's going up, I would advise taking the elevator down to go up, because if you need to fit on with something like a stroller or you're just a big group, then you're likely, if you're on one of the higher decks especially, will not be able to get on any of the elevators. They're going to be full. So our advice would be, take the elevator down and then take it back up.
Yeah, like don't get off.
Because no one will be, don't get off the elevator. Just take it down because no one's going to be on those elevators going down. Mm-hmm. Hop on, and then when it gets down to one of the bottom floors, people will join you because then they're going to go up. Because otherwise you're probably waiting several elevators for a empty enough elevator to squeeze on.
Which it's like impossible. So. Number 16.
Best time to meet Captain Hook is during the fireworks. Our middle guy isn't a fan of fireworks, so on Pirate Night, we skipped them and met characters instead. Captain Hook stayed out later than the other characters, and we'd never met him before. His line is like usually super, super long every time we've cruised with Disney. But this time during the fireworks, there was almost no wait at all. So if you're okay with missing the fireworks and you really want to meet Captain Hook like we did, then that is the perfect time to go.
Number 17. If you are traveling with people in your party who maybe are first-time cruisers or just a lower Castaway level than you are, there is no harm in asking if they can get on the ship with you. I've heard a lot of people say that they do not allow this, that either you can all go on like when everyone goes on, like at the later boarding group. However, for us, just ask, because my sister, she was a first-time cruiser. My sister, her husband, and her girls, first-time Disney cruisers. We had already been on a Disney cruise before, so we were Castaway Club members. We could go through a different line for security. So they allowed them to go on our line for security, and they were allowed to get on us with our boarding group. So it doesn't hurt to ask, because if my sister hadn't done that, we would have been separated by like miles. So always ask.
Number 18, there is no Disney transportation between the Walt Disney World Resort or the airport and Port Everglades. You have to get yourself there.
Yeah, so unlike when you go out of Port Canaveral, where they have Disney transportation, either from the MCO airport or any of the Disney World resorts, they don't have it for Port Everglades. And it's not that far, because we drove from Port Everglades to Walt Disney World. It's like a 3-hour drive. I mean, I guess 3 hours is long, but I felt like you could do that on a coach bus. So I would love it if Disney did that one day, because I would just love that option.
At least add it from one of the airports down there, like the Fort Lauderdale airport. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it would make more sense if it was like from... No, I feel like it would be better from like a Disney resort or like the MCO airport.
I think it was bigger not being able to go back to Disney World.
Yeah.
Because then you're forced to rent a car, if you want to go back there.
Or if you're coming from a Disney resort, you'd need a car.
Well, at least though you have the option to fly into a West Palm or Fort Lauderdale. if you're going to Disney World,
to fly home too.
Well, no, but if you want to do Disney World after the cruise, you have to still go up to Orlando. That's what I'm saying. So the fact that they won't shuttle you to the parks is, the fact that they don't shuttle you to the parks, it would be a nice perk. It'd probably be expensive. But if people are willing to pay for it, why not do it? However, I'll put an addendum to that. Look into the Bright Line train, because that does run from those, East Coast cities of
I think we
Fort
did look at
Lauderdale,
that.
West Palm. It didn't really make sense for us because of having the little ones.
Yeah.
Because once we got to the Orlando area, then what? But I believe we did look into the Bright Line. So that is an option, because we couldn't get from the port to the train station in any kind of convenient way without a car, because we need car seats for the kids in like an Uber. But if you're someone who has older kids, you actually probably can go from Fort Lauderdale Port to the Bright Line train to either MCO and then get yourself. So look into that as well. You don't necessarily need to rent a car. But there is no Disney provided transportation.
No. Fire. Number 19. iMessage can disconnect. So how we learned this, I was off, it was like really early in the morning. I like to get up super early and I like to go film. I was doing a tour of, I think the Dream. We were on the Dream. and Johnny was trying to get a hold of me, and my messages weren't going through.
I assumed she just went overboard.
That's not funny.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny.
That's like one of my biggest fears, and why I won't go
well,
on the
you weren't
veranda.
responding to me, so I was like, I don't know what happened to her.
Yes. So iMessage can disconnect and not reconnect on its own. So just be mindful that iMessage could possibly disconnect. Now you can use the Disney app, and you can talk to the Disney Cruise Line app. We don't do that. We like to use iMessage, but yes, if you're using iMessage, just be mindful it can disconnect. So if you're going to be apart from your party, just every once in a while, check. And to add to that, activate all members in your party. I don't know what that means, but I wrote it down. So I'm just going to tell you guys, because again, I did this in real time on the cruise, and I wrote down here in my phone, make sure you activate all Disney parties in cruise app. So I guess when we go on our next cruise, I'll verify what that means. But I think you have to go in and make sure, that's probably specifically for, that's for the actual Disney Cruise Line app. That's what you have to do, not for iMessage. So in the Disney Cruise Line app, you have to activate everybody so that those are the people you can communicate with, so that random people aren't communicating with you. There you go. I remembered. And now, number 20, our final tip. Let him have it, Johnny. This one's kind of a silly one.
The overhead bed light is a dimmer.
And you're like, KJ, why are you sharing that? But again, I wrote this down, but it's coming back to me. I remember we didn't know that the overhead, you could dim the light. And I guess we didn't know that.
Overhead, on the bedboard? On the headboard?
No, the overhead light. The overhead light, the main light. You can dim it.
Well, that's on the same trip.
That's why, because Johnny doesn't write this stuff down. I keep in my phone notes so I can tell you guys later on.
So it wasn't just an on-off. You could dim.
No, you could dim it.
Set mood lighting.
Yeah. So I included it maybe because I wanted to get to a nice 20 even number, or just, I don't know, it's on there. So whatever, we're at the end. Hope that was rapid fire enough for you guys. All of these things we learned on our last cruise as non-first time Disney cruisers. So if you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, leave us, you wanted to do that one. So leave us, that was in the beginning. Face. Leave us a question mark, because I'm just feeling a question mark, because were they mistakes? Do you think these were mistakes we made or things we learned? I don't know. It's a question. So leave us a question mark. And if you guys like today's video, please
give it a thumbs up.
Subscribe if you're new and you like the content. And if you're not already subscribed and you made it to the end of this very long-winded video, please consider subscribing, because you made it to the end. So with that, we will see you guys real soon. Bye.
See you on the ship. How do we not know about the dimmer?